Hi everyone, this is Lori from My File Addiction. Today I'm going to show you the difference between uploading a SVG file that has been formatted for your program and one that has not been, and what's going to happen between those two. So I keep getting questions over and over, and when I do that, when that happens, I like to make a video so it explains to people and shows them exactly the differences between the two files. And if you upload the correct file from a designer, if they've provided you with it and that's been formatted for your program, and how much easier it's going to be to work with that file versus one that's unformatted. Okay, so I'm going to show you, let's see, I'm going to upload here. I'm going to go to upload image, browse, and I am going to select just the regular SVG file, which the regular SVG file can be used by like the Shortcuts a Lot program, Make the Cut, the Silhouette programs. These are programs that are actually rhinestone programs that can use the standard SVG files. Your program, the Design Space program, unfortunately cannot, because it is not compatible with rhinestone files. Okay, so in this particular file, I am going to upload the standard SVG file, and the first thing we're going to look for is you're going to say, okay, there is no SVG file. There actually is. The bottom two files are SVG files. SVG files are web-based files, and what that means is your web browser can open those files and view them. So typically your computer will label them as either a Microsoft Edge, and I'm going to expand this so you can see, Microsoft Edge HTML document, or it may say it's a Chrome HTML document, and that's basically whatever web browser you're using, and it has assigned, the computer has assigned that web browser to open that file. That's how it's going to be labeled. Okay, so you can also expand your column here, the name column, and you can open this up. Okay, and again, we do not see any SVG file, but I see a Cricut Brother file here. So if you go into your, I'm going to click on this here, large. Let's see here. Details. Okay, we might have to go in a little bit different way here. So if I go into my files, let's see, where's my file folder here? Okay, so if I bring up my file, if I go into my file folder here, and I'm looking for this particular screen up here that gives us more options. Okay, so if I go into the View tab right here, and I go and look over on this column over here, and if I select and put a check mark in where it says File Name Extensions, okay, that will allow the SVG part of the file format to show up at the end of the file name. So I'm going to check that. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to go X out of this again, and I'm going to select Browse. And now we can see it has added the actual SVG at the end of the file name. Okay, so if you do not see that .svg at the end of the file name, that means you do not have that little file extension box checked. So you would go into your actual file folder, bring up that that view of that extra bar at the top, and then select the View tab, and then go and then check your file extension box, and then close out of everything, and then try to do it again, and then you will actually see the file extensions. Now you might have to, like I did, you might have to hover over there's a little like a gray line that's right here, right to the left of the date modified, and if you hover your cursor over there, it turns into like a little cross, and if you left click and hold it down, you can expand that. So expand it all the way out so you can see actually all the file names and all the file formats, okay? But see, as you notice over here, this did not change to SVG, okay? That still stayed that Microsoft Edge HTML document. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select just the regular SVG file here. I'm going to show you what happens and why this is not compatible. The standard SVG file is not compatible with your program. So there was a little orange, let's go back here. Let's upload this again. And you can kind of see. I think this was the regular. Okay, nope, that's not what I wanted to do here. Let me upload image again. Let's go back to here, upload this. And you're going to see a little blurb here saying that, wow, this is a large image. So that's one thing that's going to tell you that it's trying to pull in a file that has a lot of objects, okay? So that's kind of your first indication that this might not be formatted for your program. So I'm going to select upload. I'm going to add it to my library here. So I'm going to select on this file and I'm going to add to Canvas. Okay. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look over to your right panel here on the side. If your file comes in and you see nothing but individual circles, that is a 100% indication that the file that you just selected to open up and upload into your program is not formatted for your program. Okay, so I'm going to show you, if you were to select this file and you would go to your Make It, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going to happen. So because all of those individual circles were all individual objects, when you go to bring this to cut that template, all of those little circles are just going to go completely all over the place. You've lost basically your design, and that's because your program is set up to actually cut objects on your mat the most efficient way, so you would use the least amount of material. So it's taking every single one of those circles and placing them all together, so you would only cut a little piece of material to cut all those circles out. Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between, I'm going to cancel out here, between a file that actually has been formatted for your program. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to select upload image, browse, and now for me, I provide my Cricut customers, you will see one of two files. Some of my older files, before I discovered there was an issue that's only escalated over the years with the Design Space program, they may not have either one of these files, and I can tell you right now, if you just go directly to the one SVG file that's in there, and you will get exactly what we just showed you. That's exactly what's going to happen. So you would have to contact me, and I have to provide you with that file and update it and whatnot. Okay, but I will have one of two files along with the regular SVG file. My newest file will be labeled Cricut Brother, and my first revision file would just say Cricut. Okay, so if you use either one of those files, you should be fine. That though, either one of those files has been formatted for your program. So I'm going to select the Cricut Brother here, and I'm going to select open. And as you can see, I didn't get that orange saying, wow, this file's, pretty big. So I'm going to select upload, and I'm going to add to canvas. And with the difference between my Cricut file and my Cricut Brother file is there are measurements in the Cricut Brother file and not the Cricut file, okay? Typically when you upload an image, unless there has been glitches with when Cricut does some updates and they've messed some things up, so this measurement actually has come in handy. But for the most part, if everything is working good with the program, the Design Space program, the file should come in at the correct size. And what it says here is the box should measure 4.564 by 7.406. Okay, and you're saying, oh, well, no, it's not. It's 9 by 9, basically. Okay, I'm talking about the black box that's around the design piece. Okay, so if we look on our right panel over here, and when we first uploaded that first file, there were all individual circles. Now, as you can see, there's actually, you can see the file piece. There are there are 3 objects. The file piece, the black box, and the measurement note. So that's showing you that all of those pieces are grouped together, and it's looking at this file with all the circles as one object, not individual circles, okay? So if you see a file come in like this, it's 100% guaranteed that this file is formatted for your program, okay? So what we would have to do here is we would right click, and I'm going to select ungroup. And if I want to check to make sure that this file is the correct size, I'm going to go over to my right panel over here, and I'm going to select the black box piece. And in fact, it measures 4.564 by 7.406. So that matches my measurement note. So now we can get rid of that. And now if we go over to our Make It, now we can see all of our circles have stayed the way that I have set the design up, okay? So, because it's recognizing it as one object, okay? So if you, let's see here, I'm gonna select cancel. And I'm going to go into, I'm going to show you just, let's see, upload, browse, and I'm going to go into, and I'm going to show you now this particular file is the one that I said just has Cricut at the end of it. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to select open, and I'm going to select upload. Select the file, select add to canvas, and this one you can see there are 2 pieces in the design. So I'm going to right click it, ungroup it. Normally it comes in with, I don't know why I saved this one like this, but you basically have 2 pieces here, okay? So you're going to want to cut 2 individual templates. One for each part of the design, because you're going to brush in 2 stone colors. You can't brush in 2 stone colors when the pieces are together, because all the circles would blend together and you wouldn't be able to tell which holes are for the pink and which are for the gray, the crystal color. So now if you want to check this file to see if it is actually, if this it's the correct size. Okay, because there's no measurements in this one, you wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, there is only one way to do that. And basically what I would do here is you're going to find the smallest part of the design piece. I'm going to hide this piece right here. This girl piece has the smallest or probably the least amount of circles. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to the contour feature here in the lower right hand corner, and I'm going to select that. It still might take a little bit of time to process. That's like I said, if you try to pick the piece sorry, that has the least amount of circles, so it won't have that many objects to have to process. So if I go to hide all contours and I X out of this, it's going to select one circle. Okay, and the circle size for an SS10 design is 0.13 inches. And as long as that one circle measures the size of the stone size that I have set the design up, or whatever designer has set that up, if it's for an SS10, it should be 0.13. If it is an SS6 design, it would be 0.098. And if it was an SS16 design, it would be about 0.17. So this measures 0.13, and that tells me that it's a circle for an SS10 stone, and I can then tell that this design has come in at the correct size. Okay, so at that point, then you could go back into your contour could either go back into your contour and you can show all contour. Let's see, okay. Select show all contours, X out of here, and it brings the piece back in. You unhide your first piece, and now you select make it, and they both go on separate templates, and you're good to go. So I hope this kind of clears up things for the confusion on what files you're supposed to import, upload, and why you're getting some of the issues with all the circles, you know, randomly being placed on your mat and stuff like that. Like I said, that is an indication that file is not formatted for your program, so you cannot use it. Okay, so like I said, this is an example on how I set up my files for my customers. Other designers may label their files differently. I don't know what they do. I don't even know if they include files for you guys or not, but this is what I do and how I help my customers. So I hope this information was helpful, and have a great day.